So this vitamin B6 is very important because when you have deficiencies, you will suffer these consequences: anemia, nerve problems, numbness, all this depression and anxiety and all that. And then look at it this way: more deficiency conditions. Number one, memory loss. We have heart disease. We also mentioned heart disease in beriberi. Do you remember wet and dry beriberi? The dry for the nerves and the wet for the brain. Now you see again. So if you have vitamin B1 deficiency and also you have this one, you have vitamin B6 deficiency problems. Anyway, let's move on. You have low IQ, children being born with low IQ because their parents were not eating food that are rich in vitamin B6. Children being born with low IQ because the mothers were diagnosed with diabetes in pregnancy. And now they are on drugs for diabetes. And now they don't absorb enough vitamin B6. And look at what happens to the child, mentally retarded. And then the same children are born through CS. And then these children who are born through CS are now fed with fortified foods in form of the milk formulas. And then when they grow up a little bit, they are put on fortified foods, the margarine, the bread, the sausages. How do you expect to raise children who are not autistic, who are not mentally retarded, who don't have fatty livers? Nowadays, you look at a child, a 6-year-old child weighing 90 kgs, you're like, wow, what is happening? What are we raising? These are popcorns. You can easily poke them with a needle and they burst like a balloon. Fatty liver disease. Another one is osteoporosis. And then, of course, risk of strokes. But most importantly, kyphosis. Defects in the spinal cord. You see people walking with that angle? You've seen them? Yeah? You've seen them, right? Yeah, and then they go to chiropractors to just wanavunja mgongo, pap. These guys they're crying out loud because of pain. But in real sense, it's just vitamin B6 deficiency. Fix it. Yeah, let's continue. Now, vitamin B7. Vitamin B7, I talked about it yesterday. It was very interesting. Vitamin B7 is called biotin. Biotin. Now, biotin is present in the egg yolk. But the egg comes with two components. We have the egg yolk and then we have the egg white. Most of you who suffer from egg allergies is coming from the egg white. The nutritional part of the egg is the egg yolk. Okay? And prefer the grass-fed or the free-range chicken over the hizi zingine za grade because that is just estrogen. Now look at it this way. The egg yolk comes with vitamin B7, biotin. Biotin is very necessary for your skin development. These people who have melasma, those who have discolored skin, you really need it. You really need biotin, vitamin B7. Those people who have very, very curly, very bad-looking hair, vitamin B7. Those who are losing their hair, those who have this brittle hair that actually breaks off, ladies, this is vitamin B7 deficiency. Those who have very low immunity, also blood levels are going down all the time, vitamin B7 deficiency, because it plays a very important role in these things, but it's in the egg yolk. But this is where it gets interesting. The yolk is covered by that egg white. The egg white contains a protein that is called avidin. Avidin is a protein that actually blocks the absorption of vitamin B7 from the egg. So you've seen gym guys taking 6 eggs, raw eggs, and they're chasing themselves, meaning to a gym, na kunyonga mayai mbichi. They crack 10 eggs, drinking them raw. They are getting nothing from that apart from the fat, which at least is better, okay? But if we are targeting muscle development, skin function, brain function, blood levels, and very good hair, we want biotin. But avidin blocks the absorption of iodine. So if you want to enjoy the egg and get the nutritional benefit from the egg, simply destroy this avidin. And how do you destroy it? It's a protein. Heat the egg by boiling, by frying, or scrambling it with ghee or tallow or coconut oil or even butter. When you do that, you denature avidin. When you denature it, your body absorbs vitamin B7 so effectively, so optimally, you will not suffer from these conditions. So imagine if you have these conditions of the skin and you need vitamin B7 and vitamin A to fix your skin, why do you go and take a supplement for vitamin B7 when you can eat eggs, boil the eggs? Why do you go and take vitamin A supplements when you can get vitamin A in the liver, in the green leafy vegetables, but you eat them with fats so that you absorb vitamin A? Nutrition is not that complicated. It's easy, but you need to put in some effort. Okay? Go for nature. Sometimes put science aside and just go for nature. Observe what is happening and at least use the little knowledge you have about science to just connect the two and you're good to go. Anyway, Let's keep moving. So when you deactivate the avidin, you absorb vitamin B7. So don't ever take the raw eggs. And you've seen the research that came out that was saying that if you eat the eggs, you end up getting Salmonella typhi. I tell you this for free. There is nothing, there is no microorganisms, not Salmonella typhi, not Salmonella paratyphi, not the cholera, not even the brucella or brucellosis will actually conquer you. Why? Because there is a reason why you have a stomach acid, is to destroy these things. So the problem is you want to eat very bad foods that neutralize the stomach acid, still go for antacids to even neutralize it even more, and then blame it on cholera. Typhoid will attack you anyway. Whether you eat eggs or you don't eat the eggs, typhoid will still get to you as long as you have a messed up stomach acid. And how do you concentrate stomach acid? Simply fast, eat high protein diet, and take water that has some salt. That's how you concentrate stomach acid. So you don't want to take that longer route to boost the immunity in the gut, but you want to blame it on microorganisms. These microorganisms are not going anywhere. They are there to survive, and they are actually just fighting for survival. So you either bring them down by just concentrating stomach acid, or weaken that acid and keep complaining about every condition, including gastritis and ulcers and H. pylori. And you will take all those medications, but we will still go around. How many people have taken drugs and injections for brucellosis for 21 days? You take gentamicin or streptomycin for 21 days, and then you go back and test, and brucella still turns positive. Hii yangu ni brucella. Hii yangu, hizi joints zangu zinauma ni brucella. Hii ni typhoid. But 5 days ago, you've just taken levofloxacin or Cipro. Right? You're like, oh, when I get this fever and these joint pains, oh, my back is paining. This is brucella. And then you go for the injections. You actually tell the doctor which injections to give you. Nipe ile ya 21 days. Yay, wewe. Wewe, utadungwa na utarudi utadungwa tena. It's business. So yes, the uses of biotin. We've talked about the skin, we've talked about the hair, we've talked about metabolism, of course, and then replication of protein. So yes, so what are the sources of vitamin B7? Of course, the egg has to be number one there. Boiled egg, scrambled egg, or fried egg. Number 2, the red meat. Number 3, the diet yeast. Number 4, the liver. Number 5, fish. Number 6, vegetables. So if you're clever, sit down and tell me, if you're eating the liver, you're eating chicken, you're eating fish, you're using saturated fats, the animal fats, you're eating eggs, please tell me which vitamin deficiency can you have? And then tell me, why do you think you need a supplement if at all you're eating these foods and you have a fixed gut? The problem is you. It's not the food, it's not the supplements, the problem is you. They were taking advantage of you because you are the one who is not eating foods, you are eating products. So why don't you focus on eating foods instead of eating products? It is that simple. Vitamin D is coming from cholesterol. You get it from the fatty meats. And then you simply enjoy the sun, and its cholesterol is stored under your skin. Then it hits by the sun, it's activated to make inactive vitamin D. It is carried all the way to the liver for activation, and then the final activation is in the kidneys. Now you have active vitamin D. So yes, this one is coming from cholesterol. Cholesterol is in fatty meats. So which vitamin are you going to suffer from the deficiency if you're eating these foods, superfoods? And I tell you to eat 8 eggs, you're like, I ate eggs, daktari, but we are told to eat 2 eggs in every week. Simply look at that nutritionist who told you to eat 2 eggs in a week and tell them, how much do you weigh? Asante sana kwa kuja. Thank you so much for being here. It is that simple. So do you need a supplement? Now it's time for you to tell us about your supplement company. Which company have you trusted so long with the supplements? Which one? Vitamin B9 is the one that is actually most times confused to be folic acid. The one that is put in tablets that is given to pregnant women is not folic acid. Vitamin B9 is folate, and the active ingredient is methyl folate. And most women who are in their reproductive age, and as they age, they are unable to convert folic acid into methyl folate. They are unable. They don't have the enzyme that converts folic acid, synthetic one, into methyl folate. So as they take those tablets, the only thing they get from it are the side effects. They don't get the benefit from it. And again, for you to reach a therapeutic level or a plasma concentration in blood of this folic acid that is essential to protect your child that is growing in your womb from those spinal cord defects, you must start taking these 6 weeks to 8 weeks before you get pregnant. Imagine that. because the brain and spinal cord fuses in the first 4 weeks. The first 1 month of pregnancy, you've already fused the brain and the spinal cord. But how many of you pregnant women are taking folic acid even in the 6th week, the 7th week, even the third trimester? Why? Imagine. They're not essential. And folic acid, the body struggles to assimilate it. So simply go for folate, vitamin B9, the natural form, which is found again in the liver, in the eggs. Now this one has to a different one. Also the beans and the njahai, they come with it. We have the egg yolks, we have the meats, the red meats, we have the liver, we have the green leafy vegetables, spinach and the cauliflower. Those are the sources of vitamin B9. So why don't pregnant women eat the liver, the vegetables? Why don't they eat the egg yolks, the meats? They will avoid this only to go to hospital and be given iron supplements and folic acid supplements. It's a crazy world. They will avoid this and eat fortified foods, the wheat, the uji, the uji mix or whatever. They will eat all these things that are fortified. They will use margarine. They will use seed oils. And then they get problems with vitamin B9 deficiency. Now in the hospital, they are now given the synthetic vitamin B9, which is folic acid, a crazy system. The system that serves you with bad foods is the same system that serves you with folic acid later on. And imagine this system gives you uji or flour that is actually fortified with vitamin B9. You use that uji, you use that flour for the longest period of time, use that wheat, use that seed oil that has vitamin B9. You use it, but you still go to hospital and you're given folic acid. So who is fooling who? They are fooling you because you're the crazy one. You're not asking questions. You think that a pregnant woman is feeble and is weak and he cannot stand for themselves. And even the pregnant women themselves are actually believing they are weaker species. Pregnancy doesn't make you sick, doesn't make you weak. It doesn't. So you'd rather eat all those things that you crave for, and then you come to hospital and we give you the supplements. We give you the ones for pregnancy. I don't want to mention the name. We give you the one, we start with the one for ovulation. We come for the ones for pregnancy. And then we have a threatened abortion. We give you supplements, again, the progesterone supplements, the dufastone. Okay. And then we give you calcium supplements for the bone. We give vitamin D supplements. Yeah. Pregnant women are businesses. Anyway, so now listen, vitamin B9, what are the functions? One, it's a cofactor. So it helps or assists in enzyme function and hormone function. Number two, DNA synthesis. Number three, protein replication and cell replication. Imagine that. And then number four, blood formation. So this is the reason why when you have vitamin B9, you'll not have blood, you'll have dysfunctional DNA, your child will have problems with the spine and all that. So therefore, this one is very important for pregnant women and even people who are just trying to lead a healthy life. But most importantly for the pregnant women, because you have to protect something that is growing inside you. They say it's for the skin and the hair. The skin and the hair is vitamin B7, the biotin, okay? Yeah. This one will play a very small part in the skin. But you see, again, the hair and the skin carries also protein. But this one plays a role in protein metabolism and synthesis. So yeah, from far, it can come in handy, okay? That is vitamin B9. The last one is vitamin B12 on the B vitamins. Remember, the same issues that are brought about by vitamin B6 can actually be brought about by vitamin B12. So be very careful when you're trying to diagnose between the two. Differential diagnosis between the two. Okay? So this one, when you have a problem with the ileum, inflammatory bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, you might end up having this deficiency because this one is actually absorbed in the terminal ileum in the end or at the end of the small intestine. It's the small intestine is what we call the ileum. So at the end of it all is where we absorb vitamin B12. So those people who have received people who have hemorrhoids, people who have IBS, colitis, and the Crohn's disease, these people will end up being unable to absorb vitamin B12. Also, if you have a gut problem, because vitamin B12 also requires something called the intrinsic factor for absorption. So if you have a messed up gut, problems with the absorption of vitamin B12 and also B6. And you know of what causes the gut problems? The three inflammatory foods: sugar, wheat, and seed oils. Listen to this. This is Agnes, right? Jen Mwendo said Pregnacare. Now, see, listen to this. That Pregnacare comes in different versions. One is Pregnacare Conception. Amazing. So you've not conceived, you're struggling because you used hormonal contraceptives, now use this one. And then pregnant care breastfeeding. Hey, and then pregnant care winning. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, well, people are ripping hard. They are ripping high. When you're ignorant, the big pharma rips from you heavily because of your ignorance. My gyna, my gyna just did my gyna did a test and realized I have vitamin deficiencies. My gyna gave me this supplement. My gyna, my guy. Good. Anyway, so if you have IBS, you have colitis and all that, and some of you who have had their part of the ileum chopped off during a surgery, this is a problem. Even those who have cancer, you are unable to absorb vitamin B12. And again, metformin blocks absorption of vitamin B12, just the same way it blocks absorption of vitamin B6. So you end up having peripheral neuropathy. You end up having problems with protein metabolism and replication. And now you have all these problems. The numbness are coming in. The loss of memory is coming in. The low IQ in your baby is coming in. And then you're wondering, why do I just give birth to children who, wanavuta mkia? Children who cannot even speak, they have delayed milestone, vitamin B12 deficiencies, and folate deficiencies, and vitamin B6 deficiencies, most of the vitamin B deficiencies. And again, sometimes you can be eating healthy, just the same way you tell me, balanced diets, but you end up having these vitamin deficiencies. Why? Because you just drink water without adding salt. So you end up flushing this, because remember, we say these ones are excreted through urine. They are water soluble. So they leave the body through urine. That's why you don't have toxicities. Most toxicities of this, you will not have them. But you will end up having deficiencies because they are leaving your system so fast because you're urinating all the time. There's another one called overcare. Aye. Your ovum is having a problem. Now you have to, lazima tuipalilie tuweke mbolea. Wewe. Tafuta yolks, my friend. Those eggs are coming without yolks. Just look for yolks in the egg yolks. If you know what I mean. Anyway, what are the deficiencies for vitamin B12? Number one, so leukopenia, anemia, thrombocytopenia, nerve problems, the numbness, tingling, and those hot feet and cold feet. These are actually symptoms of people who have diabetes. And these are the things that you experience. And what are the sources of vitamin B12? Of course, the normal one. At least you can actually name them in the comment section. I don't have to repeat them. Simply name them. And I'll tell you this for free. You can add others. Eggs are there, fish is there, liver is there, beef is there, chicken skin is there. All those are coming with vitamin B12. Again, vegetarians suffer from this condition, the deficiency of vitamin B12. But they can't tell you. Why? Because they want you to just join their crew. Don't eat meat. Meat stays in your stomach for 8 hours without digestion. You have messed up your stomach acid. It is so weak, it cannot digest meat. And now you're blaming meat. Where? Blame yourself. What are you eating that is actually neutralizing the stomach acid? It is there for a reason, to digest meat. So don't lie to us that meat will stay in my stomach for 8 hours. I do meat every single time. I have never had it in my stomach for 8 hours. Like, if your gut is a problem, why are you blaming meat? Natuambia hapa atikana inza kula miwa. Na simba na leopard na cheetah hawakuli miwa. Nature bwana has a way of talking. So anyway, this vitamin B12 is one of the vitamins that actually needs a whole gut for you to absorb it. Now listen to this. One, you need healthy food that has vitamin B12. The liver, the eggs, the fish, the chicken skin, and the red meats. You need them. Once you've done that, you need to fix your stomach acid by fasting so that it concentrates, and then you can digest the meat to liberate this vitamin B12. And then you need the intrinsic factor. And then you need a functional, let's start from the mouth. You need saliva. And then you need a functional stomach, HCl. And then you need bacteria, healthy bacteria, for you to absorb this. And then you need a healthy liver. You need a healthy pancreas. And then you need a fixed colon and ileum, the small intestine. So it is a whole gut for you to absorb this vitamin B12. At least for the others, you can absorb them in the first part of the small intestines, and then in the duodenum, the jejunum. But this one, a whole gut. That's why most people have these problems. So you can imagine somebody who has done a bariatric surgery, gastric bypass, they will come with this problem. Vitamin B12 and B6 deficiencies. Somebody who has had a surgery for cancer, colon cancer, is a problem. And when I did a video about colon cancer and the gastric cancer being associated to miraa, soda, and the things that come with the miraa, the energy drinks, they removed the sound from it. Anyway, this is the most important part of vitamin B12, and I think you should know this. Vitamin B12, there is a compound in the body that's called homocysteine, and there's an amino acid that is called methionine. So homocysteine is converted to methionine. I want you to understand this clearly. So homocysteine is converted to methionine, the amino acid. But for you to convert homocysteine to methionine, you need vitamin B12. Also, you need vitamin B9. But we talked about vitamin B9. So I want you just to understand, for you to move from homocysteine all the way to methionine, you will need vitamin B12 and vitamin B9. And why are we converting homocysteine to methionine? Is because methionine is what the liver uses to detox the body. In conjunction with vitamin C and vitamin E, methionine is actually used by the liver to detoxify the system. So when you're going for that colon cleansing, that body detox, that is just crazy. Simply think about this. You can actually do the detox on your own. So you need vitamin B12 and B9 to convert homocysteine to methionine. And then you can now detoxify the body. Methionine also prevents you from getting strokes and heart attacks. And that's why most of you are going to take the Q10 supplements and the methionine supplements. When you have a risk of heart attack or a stroke, this is what you're given. But this methionine is also rich, just like glutathione, in cabbage. That's why cabbage is very good for detox, the cabbage juice. That's why fermented cabbage is very good for detox. Imagine that. So if you have a deficiency of vitamin B9 and vitamin B12, what is going to happen? You will not detoxify the system. You will end up having a risk of strokes and heart attacks. But most importantly, homocysteine will start going up, accumulating in the system. When homocysteine is going up, the risks of strokes are there. Very low IQ in babies and humans. Shrinking balls for men. We have heart attacks and risks of heart attacks. Imagine that. We have deep venous thrombosis. Those people who have the venous thrombosis, the chance of just getting those blood clots that will actually clog your heart, clog your brain vessels, and even cause you pulmonary thrombosis or emboli. So people who have DVT, you're actually high in homocysteine. And then joint problems and pains and arthritis. So imagine, just by taking the cabbage, fermented cabbage or cabbage juice as a detox, you actually, and then making sure that your gut is fixed so that you can absorb vitamin B12, you're actually going to produce methionine from the homocysteine. You're not going to build up homocysteine, and then you're going to detoxify the system. The liver is going to do the rest. You're going to clean up your system from triglycerides that actually can expose you to strokes, can expose you to pulmonary embolism, can expose you to DVT, deep venous thrombosis, can expose you to heart attacks. Imagine that. Diets. Please, diets over anything. Diets over supplements, diets over drugs, diets over anything. Diets fasting. When I insist on fixing the gut, please know that I mean it.